Johnson almost certainly got incredibly, and I mean incredibly lucky when he was fined over his Partygate allegations because Parliament, well, this week just happened to be on its Easter break. They come back in next Tuesday, and it is almost certain not only are there going to be some questions raised in Parliament almost immediately on Tuesday, but Boris is in for an absolute, I mean, absolute pasting this coming Wednesday at the PMQs. Not only that, it has always been said by other, again, not conservatives and even senior conservatives, they know Johnson and others in the cabinet are set for more fines. So Boris is going to end up getting more than one fine. This is just going to lead to more and more embarrassment. And to be honest, the Tories need to do one of two things. Either they need to grow a spine and just get rid of him, or they can just admit that they are terrified of Johnson because some are scared about getting rid of him because, again, of his quote, electoral magic, which, well, is going to be really put to test in the May local elections. Again, the Telegraph of all places reporting that the Tories standing to lose over at least 800 seats. It is almost a total wipeout. That would be almost unheard of if that happens. So again, take that with obviously a pinch of salt, but also saying that at this point, the Tories are on course to lose the next general election. So there is now, of course, other rumors that Boris is going to get more fines, but also, and this is the best part because we reported on this just a few days ago, again, a senior conservative who, again, wants to get rid of Boris came out and said there are worse allegations to come. And it looks like there are going to come very, very thick and very, very fast, especially in the coming days. So expect a lot, I think, to happen in the next coming days over this stuff. But we're going to go diving into those new allegations that have happened. But we will see what happens about these because, again, they'll be reported. And again, we must stress at this moment in time, they are allegations. So they might be true, they might not be true. We don't know at this moment in time. So, like I say, they are at the moment allegations. I want to stress that a lot. But of course, as you know, this is obviously comes from the guy who denied there were even parties in the first place. So make of that what you will. So, as always, before we go jumping into the article, please do remember, to press that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off nation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can always buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those who do watch and support the channel that way. So, on with this. This comes from the London Economic with the title of Boris Hit by Indefensible Fresh Partygate Allegations. Labour has called Boris Johnson's involvement in the Partygate saga indefensible as fresh allegations emerge about the Prime Minister's conduct. The Sunday Times has said that Johnson is expected to deliver a statement when the MPs return to the Commons on Tuesday, where he will not only deny any wrongdoing, but will also point towards the, quote, wider context, including the war in Ukraine. Again, this does not save Johnson. This whole idea of a war. We have changed prime ministers before during a war. France is in the middle of an entire election cycle at the moment. This is no excuse to say, oh, we can't get rid of Johnson. And I think partly it's because a lot of conservatives do recognize the fact that Johnson at the moment is holding together this wildly coalition that is built on like this strange landscape, and only Johnson can hold it together. And if he goes, as we've said before, there's going to be serious Tory party civil war. We're talking blue on blue action out the wazoo. It is going to be incredible to see, because all these factions are going to want their candidate. And if they don't get their candidate, well, they will quite happily cause trouble for the next Conservative leader. Remember, Theresa May had such trouble just trying to control one very disgruntled faction, the ERG. And now there is more than one faction in the Tory party. So, you know, as they've said, I think it was King Richard III. Or it might not have been Richard III, but I think it was some Shakespeare quote. You know, what is it? Easy does not the head that wears the crown, or something like that. I can't remember the full quote, but someone will tell me below, I'm sure. But anyway, let's get on with it. But also, the newspaper has also revealed fresh claims that Johnson was not only present at his leaving do for his former chief secretary, but he led the celebrations. It also comes after Johnson's wife, his wife Carrie, the Chancellor Rishi Sunak, were all issued and paid fines for attending a birthday bash held for the Prime Minister back in June of 2020. Of course, the Sunday Times reported the Prime Minister's official photographer had captured photographs of Johnson holding a beer at the gathering and Sunak with a soft drink. But Johnson is understood to have presented at least 6 of the 12 events being investigated by the Metropolitan Police for breaking COVID rules, and is braced for more penalty fines to come. One of those included Operation Hillman, which was a leaving do for the former Director of Communications at Number 10, Lee Kane, on November 13th, 2020. A source has suggested to the Sunday Times that this had started as the press office having drinks to finish off the week, but it turned into a party once the Prime Minister arrived, poured drinks, and made a speech. The newspaper said that the Number 10 source did not deny any of the characterizations of the gathering, but denied Johnson was the instigator. The Sunday Mirror also said that Number 10 had refused to answer questions about the birthday gathering, submitting through a Freedom of Information request because of national security concerns. Labour's deputy leader Angela Rayner said that while the British public were making huge sacrifices, Boris Johnson was breaking the law. If the latest reports are true, it would mean that not only did the Prime Minister attend parties, but he had a hand in instigating at least one of them. He was deliberately misleading the British public at every turn. The Prime Minister has demeaned his office. The British people deserve better. While Labour has a plan for tackling the cost of living crisis, Tory MPs are too busy defending the indefensible actions of Boris Johnson. And that is where we are at the moment. We are going to have to see how these allegations turn out. And I must stress at the moment, they are allegations. But like I said at the beginning, this comes from the guy who initially denied that there were any parties in Number 10 to begin with. So we'll have to see how this whole saga turns out. But as I've said before, we've had Partygate Part 1, and we were hoping that this would all end. But of course, this is Partygate Part 2, where obviously Boris Johnson is now getting fined. I think he's going to be at least, I've said 3, but I think it's likely he could be fined up to 6 times, given what we're hearing now. So I initially said 3. I think it could be well up to 6, but we'll have to see. And if he does get all 6 fines, it's going to be even harder. You cannot keep it. More than one fine just goes well beyond the pale. And having one fine initially is just one too many. But how this all plays out, it's unsure. We've also still waiting for the Sue Gray report. That is going to be causing huge rumbles as well. But needless to say, it is not looking good. It really is not looking good. And especially when you've got local elections coming up where, as we've said, it looks like the Tories are in for an absolute hammering. There are going to be a lot of upset, shall we say, grassroots Tories that are not going to be happy. And my hope is that, again, I say this now, write to your MP. Even if you do not have a Conservative MP, write to them. Tell them of your displeasure. Say them, push for Boris Johnson to get, push for them to Boris Johnson to go. It does have an effect, and even more so if you have a Conservative MP. I've already written to my MP, Dan Jarvis. He's already, I don't have it with me. He's already written back to me saying, he understands it, and he shares again my my thoughts about that. So again, as always, writing to your MP does work, it does have an effect, and they do write back. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can always buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.